Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Robert Collier. And my friends, our small efforts, 10 to 15 minutes each and every day, charting the market, practice trading all we can, learning. Let's jump into these charts. And again, Patreon members, thank you so much for your help and support. When you become a Patreon member, you automatically get my latest book, which is Three-Wave Trading Advantage, and our three-part series, Options Made Simple, The Charting Wealth Way. Stocks are up for the day, along with Bitcoin. Bonds and gold are down. It's not a big day, except Bitcoin popping up 3.16%. The S&P and the NASDAQ up a little bit. The S&P 0.33%. How did we end the week? We ended right there on average volume. After things moved down starting on Wednesday afternoon, down on Thursday, and then we're looking at the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks on the half day. So technically we were up a little bit, but we can see red here. So the overall mood, we can see we've got some red there on our Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. What do they help us do? They help us see average pace. If you've not taken our Heikin-Ashi training, I'm going to put it at the end of today's video for you. Take a look at it over the weekend so you understand what it is you're seeing on Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. They're not like your standard candlestick, high open, low close. They help you see the average pace. Hence, they're called Heikin-Ashi, which I am told means average pace in Japanese. And they are very helpful. It takes out so much of the guesswork of regular candlesticks and so much of the confusion that you can have there, where they can be jumping all over the place. It smooths the action to help you really see what's going on with price. That's why we use it. So we did see average volume in the morning and afternoon. We've had decent volume as we look at the half-day chart as we move along. We did reach average. Now we look at the Friday. It's just Friday, but we do have decent volume for Friday, maybe about halfway there. That prior two-day candle we did hit, but you can see how much the candle has shrunk. Again, just up a little bit on Friday. Overall, nice up week. We are still long, decently long on the S&P. Our backtest accuracy is good. It's the highest on all 5 of the ETFs we are tracking at about 78%. The directional probability is higher. And of course, Patreon members, you get the first look. We've already, in fact, emailed out to you the trade execution summary grid and the 5-day plus ETF trading analysis and execution plan, which is very helpful. So take a look at that. If you want to check it out and you're not a subscriber, then just go to our Patreon page and you can see the past ones. So let's keep moving. We see on, and again, that means as we go into the new week, of course, we are long the S&P, but we are continuing to watch very closely. What's up with the Qs? It was up 0.48%. Nice big green up candle, higher than average volume. 2-day volume looks okay, but again, we can see where things are slowing here over the week. As they popped up, you can see how the week popped up strong through Wednesday, then started backing off some Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, and again up in the morning on Friday. We see some volatility down in the afternoon, but overall ended up. And of course, nice big green up candle for the week. So we are still long. The NASDAQ comes in not as bullish as the S&P, but still decent. And we continue to be long as we have been since April. It was just an amazing summer. Usually we talk about the summer doldrums. Sell and may go away, live to trade another day. It wasn't that way for us this year thanks to inflation. That is printing lots of money backed by nothing that causes real stuff to what? Increase in value just because there's so much cash floating around, which of course makes things that you buy and consume just cost more because you can't save them like you can your home and stocks and real things. So again, doesn't work out well for the little guy, but if you're in the stock market, it has just been going up as a function more of inflation, I would argue, than anything else. Let's look at where we are with 20-year U.S. government bonds. They are down today, 0.30. We can see the down movement on the half-day chart and all that volume fueling the investor sentiment in that down movement. You can see the volume on the red spinning candle before the first day of the latest two-day candle. That was Friday, so that was the Wednesday, Thursday. And you can see the weakness here in the weekly chart. We have all that red volume. That does not mean negative volume. It means that this candle opened lower than the prior closing candle. That's all that means. It doesn't mean negative volume. Don't get confused. We see a little green candle sitting right there on the weekly trend line. We see all that up movement and a small wick down, which of course shows us how much the bulls have been pushed down by the bears, and all this volume backing up the inability of bonds to go higher. So we will continue to watch. And of course, that bearishness we are seeing on our directional probability, it's not that great. It's more than a coin toss, but nothing super to write home about. But after those prior 4 weeks of increasing price movement, but volume was almost average those weeks up until last week when it dropped. And then, of course, consequently, volume went up as things pushed down. So we are bearish on bonds for right now, but not betting the farm on that. What do we see with gold? Gold pulling back today. We see where gold started moving down hard. Remember, 6+% back on Tuesday, the 21st. Went down, then ran up the trend line on the half-day chart, and then over and down. And since Tuesday, it's really just sort of been sliding sideways and just sort of hanging along at that bottom, waiting to see what's going to happen. I told you as the week started and things really hammered down that breaking the trend line like that, blowing off all that energy and steam, takes a while for things to get moving back again. And of course, that hasn't happened, and things are still struggling along. Now, as we run the numbers, I do not understand the high bullish number that we see in our directional probability. It is explained, and I would urge everybody, particularly our Patreon members, do look at the reasoning that we give for it, but we'll see. We'll see as we jump into this next week. Again, running numbers and looking at what you see on the chart and what your experience is, that's the reason that computers can't do all the trading for us. We have to use our experience in the past. So we'll see how this next week starts and how it goes. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin up for the day, 3.16% after several days of strong down movement. As we look at how this week ended, a little above average volume, pretty much a doji there on the weekly chart. We can see where we had the Monday, Tuesday up move. You can see how things started tracking up on Thursday the 23rd, then really boomed up on Monday, as of course gold did what? Gold boomed down on Tuesday of the prior week strong. Gold also went down again on Monday, on into Tuesday, but of course Bitcoin had popped up and tried to hold it through Tuesday morning. And then, of course, we started seeing Bitcoin losing it, moving back down, moving just below the weekly trend line, and then popping back up today. But still, like Bitcoin did, Bitcoin moved over strongly like gold did, as we see. And it just takes a while, once you lose all that energy and inertia, to gain it back. So right now, we are bearish on Bitcoin, and we shall just see as we move into the next week when Bitcoin is going to shake off this bearishness and get ready to move up again, even with 3.16% up for Bitcoin. Now, if that were a stock or the S&P 500, most anything but Bitcoin, you would just be going gangbusters. But of course, it's not. It's not. It's Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is subject to lots of volatility. So we will keep our eye on it. That is where we are, my friends, as we end the week. Of course, our most bullish move is the S&P Of course, we see some bullishness in gold, or at least we see it on our 5-day plus trading analysis as we run the numbers. I'm not seeing that. So we'll see who's right as the new week moves along. We do see bullishness also in the NASDAQ 100, bearishness in both the Qs and Bitcoin. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at